What's up guys, this is Darkbblue, a gamer who loves Souls-like games, looter games, and every game that involves build making. So BlazBlue Entropy effect has received a huge update and come to an end to its EA stage. I have noticed some issues in this new version. So as I said before, as a roguelike game which is different from the original fighting game franchise, Entropy effect should be designed to be friendly to ordinary players. And this was done through a balance between random potentials and controllable tactics. In the EA stage, though Entropy Effect had an emphasis on its action experience, it was very easy for most players. Now this balance has become very weird. Bosses become much harder and do moderately more damage, so I have to focus on dodging. This makes the action part more difficult, even though I have managed to build good tactics. On one hand, this conflicts with this game's original design purpose. On the other, well, with so many effects on the screen, it's really hard to actually see and dodge attacks. Besides this bad balance, I also find the global leveling up very rewardless and boring, and potentials are now torn into pieces. They are all against this game's ideal nature, which should be a game based on a fighting game franchise but targeting at most ordinary players. Well, who knows, maybe devs will make adjustments. So I decided to make a guide video instead of a review video. I like the new tactic design. With good synergy of legacy tactics, it's possible to win from beginning. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's dive right into it. So first, let's talk about the tactic mechanic itself. How can you get a tactic? This actually comes with strong restriction. First, look at this UI. I call it Tactic Slot Sheet. Each row indicates one way to trigger tactics: basic attack, skill, legacy, summon, and dash. Each column indicates slots. You have slot 1 to 3 and double tactic slot. Now here's another UI for tactics, Tactic Tree. The two UIs are connected. Let's take a random tactic tree to illustrate this connection. So you can see 5 arcs here. The first 3 arcs correspond to slot 1 to 3. The last arc is double tactics, and the arc before it only shows prerequisites of this double tactics. These prerequisites don't count as part of this tactic tree. The two tactic UIs introduced. Now what's the restriction? First, in the tactic slot sheet, you can have at most one tactic in one slot. If one slot is already used by a tactic, other tactics in the same slot won't normally show up. And second, in tactic trees, you only have access to slot 2 to double slots if you already have the prerequisites. If you combine the two rules together, you'll know that each row in the sheet is bounded with one tactic tree, and you can and only can have one tactic per arc to be filled into the slots of this row. You cannot fuse multiple trees in one row, and you cannot have multiple tactics in the same arc. For example, if I already have a slot 1 tactic, then if I go into rooms for the same tactic family, I'll first choose from the few slot 2 tactics. Only after this will I be able to get slot 3 tactics, and other slot 2 tactics are no longer accessible. Now this restriction is a good thing. It makes tactics very controllable. To be specific, once you have grabbed a one slot 1 tactic, it'll be very easy to get other tactics in the same tree, including double tactics. The only randomness you have to overcome is to get the very slot 1 tactic itself. Now can this be overcome? Yes, with legacy tactics. What is legacy? Each time you finish one round, no matter if you die or beat the game, you will be rewarded with a save. This save will allow you to carry 2 tactics over. From now on, you can choose 2 saves when starting the round, so that's 4 legacy tactics in total. Every tactic can be legacy. If it's a slot 1 tactic, it'll be given to you from beginning, otherwise you only get it after acquiring its prerequisite tactics. It's time to gather things up and find a strategy. As I said, the only randomness you need to overcome is slot 1 tactic, so why don't we simply have slot 1 tactics as legacy? Yes, slot 1 tactics are much more rewarding than other legacy choices. Of course, there is also randomness in choosing which tactics to be legacy, but the solution is very simple. Grab no more than 4 tactics in total so that your target is guaranteed. Know that you won't be able to make legacy tactics legacy again, so actually you can have 4 legacy tactics and 4 new tactics, and still be able to guarantee your target legacy. Therefore, it's in fact not hard to do this. You can have actually 8 tactics and you only need around 700 to 800 scores. This can be easily achieved before the boss of stage 4. I think this is very doable for most ordinary players. Now let's put our new strategy into practice. I'm planning on beating the game with my favorite character Mai. So I start with analyzing what tactics are suitable for her. Though I don't know for sure what potentials I can get, she only has a few builds possible. So basically, Mai has moderate frequency basic attacks, low frequency skills, and high frequency dashes. I go to the second floor of the lobby and check all the tactic trees. Some tactics are more suitable for the attack frequencies of Mai, and I choose the suitable ones that can also make double tactics. After confirming my target legacy, I make 2 saves. Then I start a run with Mai. I shall first see what potentials I can get, so that I can choose one tactic tree to follow accordingly. If the potentials I get focus on basic attack, I'll of course lean on the tree of basic attack. The same for other cases. So with our new strategy, it won't be very hard to beat the game, but I have to say, still, the balance sucks. Now, if you like my story or want to join me into depth of games, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.